Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are all gathered here today to witness a momentous event between UITM and KPS Berhad with KDEB Waste Management Sdn Berhad. Through this collaboration, it opens the door for endless possibilities and potential network, especially when it comes to the improvement of the already impeccable establishment of KPS Berhad and KDEB Waste Management Sdn Berhad. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, here the moment that we're waiting for, the sharing session from our guest speakers today. We would like to invite Mrs. Hana and Mrs. Mahfuza, as well as our moderators, to join us up front for this sharing session.
Dia buat teks tu.
Without further ado, Miss Moderator, you can lead the sharing session now. Thank you.
Thank you, Azlin, for opening the session. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to all. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you to our forum session, Sustainable Future is You. Before we proceed further, let me first introduce myself. My name is Nabila Haya binti Muhammad Putra, and alongside me is my partner, Atira.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Nur Atira Muhammad Azli, and today we are your moderators for today's event. We would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you for joining us today. First and foremost, we would like to thank everyone for taking off your busy schedules to join us. So from the bottom of our heart and everyone involved in organizing this event, thank you very much.
Moving on, for today's forum session, we have two very special guest speakers here with us today. I would like to introduce our first speaker, Mrs. Hana Hazira Awaluddin, a manager of sustainability from the company Kumpulan Perangsang Selangor, KPS Berhad. How are you today, Miss?
Great. Today I'm feeling great. I'm feeling better actually. Earlier this week actually I'm not very well. So I think because the energy from you guys, I can feel the positive vibes.
That's wonderful. Now we have Mrs. Mahfuza Muhammad Tamidi, the head of media and public relations of KDEB Waste Management Sdn Berhad. How are you today, Miss?
Alhamdulillah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum to the two moderators, beautiful moderators, and assalamualaikum to all of you, the students of, I think the 5th year, is it? 5th year students of Faculty of Operation, is it? Okay, so good morning. I can see a lot of good faces this morning, okay? You are like my son and my daughter. My son and my daughter is about your age, okay? And my second son is a UITM student also in Dumont. So it's about your age, and I'm happy to be in UITM today, this morning, because this university is something that has produced a lot of good graduates. And in fact, with me this morning is the alumni of UITM, Miss Hidayah. I think she's also from this UITM Puncak Alam. Okay, so I'm proud to have. This is one of the good examples of good graduates from UITM Shah Alam, where the industry is able to give opportunity to graduates of UITM to work in our industry. Okay, coming back to the first question, whether I'm good or not, this morning, yeah, I have a good energy this morning, and I would like that all of you also have a good energy this morning, listening to our sharing what we have done in the industry. I've been in industry for more than 20 years. So, I feel proud and I feel great to share some of my experience to all of you, especially in sustainability. Okay, so I think that's a short introduction from me. Thank you.
What a fairly small chat from our speakers. I hope both of you are excited for today's topic, which is sustainability. With two perspectives regarding this topic, I'm sure all of the participants today will digest all the information that you will be delivered later.
First and foremost, we would like to apologize for the sharing of the mic. We haven't got enough, but it's okay. Let's move on to today's forum session. So first question will be delivered to Ms. Hannah. We all know how important it is for a company to have a clear background. Thus, my question is, would you mind telling us a bit about KPS Berhad's organizational structure?
Yes, of course. KPS Berhad, just like KDB Waste, we are under the same umbrella, MBI, under Menteri Besar Incorporated Selangor. But we are kind of different in terms of operation, how we operate our company. So for KPS Berhad itself, we are investment holding company where most of our business unit is manufacturing. But our business is B2B, not towards to consumer or business to business. So our manufacturing, we have plastic molding operations. I think I have prepared some presentation for today. Okay, excuse me. I think it's better if I stand. Okay. Okay. Go to the next slide. Okay. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, KPS Berhad actually is established back in 1975. So this year is a very commemorative year because we have going through rebranding earlier in February. So together with this rebranding come with a new perspective of KPS. And one of the bigger things that we want to bring forward is sustainability. We want to be known as a sustainable company. So moving here forward, one of the things that we are doing is we do sustainability due diligence when we want to acquire a company. We want to see how their risk in terms of social, in terms of environments, in terms of governance. And next. Okay, this is just how we change. And like earlier, it's important to have a direction. So if not, you just have to invest in everything. But when you have a clear direction, what's your business goal, where you want to focus on, then you will know the kind of business you want to invest. So these have also built a foundation for KPS itself. Okay, next. And this is the company under KPS Group. So we have in Malaysia we have Toyo Plus, CPI, Century Bond, and Kaiser Corporation is the licensing of King Coil, King Coil Bedding. So we own the licensing business. And then we have the other trading business and infrastructure and associate company. But our biggest focus will be under the manufacturing. Next. Okay, I will go straight into how we integrate ESG into our business. So ESG is basically is very important in any public listed company. It is mandated by Bursa Malaysia. If you go to any public listed company after this, you will understand that sustainability is something that they have no choice but to do. But actually, sustainability is not something new in company. They have that, but they never see that as sustainability. You have HR, you have safety and health, you have your procurement. All of uh, all of these department and other departments are responsible to do sustainability in their own department. So we have our vision and mission, and usually all this you can see in the sustainability report. Every public listed company have to produce a sustainability report every year, and is guided by Bursa Malaysia and also other international frameworks. So next. So for each company, your focus on economic, environment, and social will be different from each other. You have definitely all the pillars, but not necessarily the same thing that you are focusing. It depends on the nature of the business. For KPS Berhad, our risk and opportunities lies on for economic is our business resilient, strategy agility, risk mitigation on how we do our investment. And on environment is more on energy efficiency because being in manufacturing it is well regulated. It's just that we have to manage the risks. For example, our energy efficiency, how to make it better, waste management, emissions. And then on social, for Kumpul Prasas Berhad, we believe in shared profitability. Um, Being under the state company, we have also responsibility to give back to the communities. So beside the basic like safety and health and everything, so we have a very huge part in the social investment. So under social investment, we are actually help to develop the community under four pillars: educational, entrepreneurship, community development, environmental safety, and health. And we also have philanthropy definitely because there is lots of crisis happening, the flooding and everything. We need philanthropy definitely, and all this need to have a good governance. Governance doesn't come in on its own pillar because governance need to be in each of every pillar itself because you need to have a good ethics whether you run environment, social or economic. The business itself need to be governed with a good ethics and code of conduct. So one of the popular frameworks that business following is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. Interestingly, was when first SDG was established in 2016. Back then, I was in environmental NGO, so I involved when they want to when the United Nations want to introduce this. So as the NGO, we tell what is our concern, how to make this SDG better. So SDG is basically cover almost everything to make the world and planet a better place for everybody. It include inclusiveness, so nobody left behind. So, but for every business, not necessarily they have to adopt all 17 SDG because each SDG have their own target. They have more than hundreds target, and then they have like different indicator for that target. So for KPS itself, when we see our business, six of the UN SDG that we adopt is the most related to our business. So we adopt SDG 3, well-being, health and well-being, and then SDG 4, education, SDG 8, decent economic growth, SDG 11, sustainable city, SDG 12, responsible business, SDG 13, climate action. Okay, next one. Okay, this is when I talk about the social investment. So the four pillars that we have: education, entrepreneurship, community, and environmental safety and health have their own SDG that they are also focusing. So we try to help develop and reach the communities through this social investment. Next. Okay, this is some of the things so far that we have achieved. For example, in education, we have wrapped up a project with Orang Asal students. And in terms of when you talk about sustainability, you have to think a project that is sustainable. Instead of we teaching the ABC for the Orang Asal, you have to teach more how they can live life, how they can assimilate together with the society, how they can well manage themselves when they go out. So this is the kind of things that we are more focusing rather than teach them how to do math, how to do science. We educate them, we empower them, we bring them to see how the LRT works and see all the things that actually the real world are doing. And I think that is more important rather than because I mean you have the formal education that teach all that. We need something that to boost them. Entrepreneurship, we have promoting and enabling business opportunity for the communities. We help the ASEAN communities not only fund them with their business, train them, and also monitor them, guide them, because sustainable is more important in term when you think about projects. Community development, we have sports, we have sports development. KPS, we have trained deaf Olympic athlete. So this is a differently abled athlete. So of course, when you first fund them, support them, you don't see them suddenly be one of the professional players. So these two badminton players, we have funded them for years, and this year actually they won medals in the Brazil Deaf Olympic. So it is an achievement that we believe, like I said, is a more sustainable thing. So now that they are more at the professional level, we believe they can survive and they can move on their own. And then under environmental safety and health, we have a different kind set of programs. One of it is that we work together with universities. So we relate back with our business. So one of our business, we produce paper and plastic. So paper and plastic can be a risk in the future when the world doesn't want more a more sustainable material. So we work with the universities for students to come out with idea and prototype to replace this material, a more biomaterial. So actually that thing is still going on, and we hope to see good results from these research universities. And overall, we have actually helped more than 100,000 community. And beside this, in our own day-to-day operation, we also work closely with each of the operating business unit to help them, to facilitate them, to understand where we can help to make them more sustainable. So to get into what is important now and what is happening to the world is very important. You have to understand, okay, like when you see the news today, climate action is something that is on the center of the news. So, okay, now climate action. Are we ready as organization? That is what we try to see, and then we try to see which of the capacity development they need, and then we try to facilitate them with that. But sustainability is not something that have to be taken by one department. Of course, in each organization, they have corporate sustainability, but corporate sustainability there is to facilitate the other department to understand how they can do their job in a sustainable way. Whether you are accountant, whether you are HR, whether you are procurement, whether you are at which level, even admin, you guys can do something in sustainability. I have, in my previous experience, talked with the admin to change, for example, water bottle in the meeting rooms into a more sustainable practice. So they put a refillable water dispenser so that they don't have to have water bottle in the meeting rooms anymore. And not only that, for example, you use a lot of cleaning material because the cleaner need to clean the whole building. So one of the thing we asked the admin to buy from zero waste shop. So they can just bring their bottle and top up with the cleaning material, rather than just buy bottles and bottles. So everybody can play their own role. Yeah, for example, even procurement, when you want to purchase paper for printing, try to purchase from FSC paper rather than unsustainable paper. I have seen plantation that do unsustainable practices, and it's really horrible in terms of how they treat their workers, how they treat their environment. So that's why we need to support a more sustainable products. I think I already take quite some time. That's all from me.
Thank you, Mrs. Hannah. That's such a good sharing. Yeah, it's quite a lot, but it's a good sharing. Now moving on to Mrs. Mahfuza. Can you give us the insight of KDEB Waste Management Sdn Bhd?
Okay, thank you, Miss Moderator. Okay, I am with KDB Waste Management for 6 years, and KDB Waste Management is 6 years in operations. For this year, next year is about 7 years, because we start operations in 2016, July 2016, and our company is slightly different from Kumpulan Perangsang Berhad because we are more to operations. We are waste collector in Selangor State Government. If you can see at your house, early in the morning, you can see the blue lorry coming to your house. For those staying in Selangor, you can see these big garbage trucks coming to your house, and then the crew come and collect the waste. That is our lorry, our garbage truck. So, and you can see on the lorry, you can see keeping Selangor clean, right? So that tagline shows that how sustainable is important in our business. All right. So you can see that our trucks is moving around the whole of Selangor, because we are collecting waste from your house, every day, 365 days a year. Can't you imagine that our crew is coming around to your houses, collecting as many waste that produced by whom? Who produce waste? Us. We are the culprits who produce the waste, and I and my colleagues in in the organizations is the one who assigned to collect your waste. But we are not a waste. We are a world-class waste collector. You see, can be waste the same as like Kumpulan Prasa. We also state government of Selangor company. Yeah, we are government company, and we have been mandated to take care of the cleanliness in Selangor. By collecting the waste. Waste, we have two categories. It's either the domestic waste, which is waste is produced from your houses, and waste, we call it the public cleansing waste, which is the bulky waste, your cleaning the drain, pick up the branches. Okay, so this called it public cleansing. But the scope of, the severity of collecting the waste is something that is very, a very huge task and very difficult. The waste industry is always, people don't want to come to this industry. Because why? Because we are dealing with dirtiness, we are dealing with difficulties, and also dangerous. Can't you imagine, how our crew doing their job during the COVID? Can't you imagine? You see, you guys, we are staying in the house under the MCO, but our crew is moving around collecting the hazardous waste, right? So you are, at one point you are at one side that you are, hiding yourself, ourselves from something, dangerous. But at the same time, on the other side, there's a people exposing themselves to a very harmful environment and, kind of threat, right? You see that our people's, I can share some experience, yeah. Our people during the EMCO is where the area is very strict, force for you to go through, and it being, they have like this a wire, right? The wire, the what do you call it? No, the dawai kan? This very strict areas that you cannot go through this area. What our crew did, because the lorry cannot pass through this area, so they park the lorry at the other side of the area, and the crew go through to the other side in very small lane, and then because the lorry cannot pass by the area, what they did is they have to throw the waste, the bundle of the plastic waste, and then give it to another crew at the other side. So it's very uh, we call it taxing of time, and it's very uh, uh, very stressful, taking that kind of job, because you are not normal at the time when you are doing your work. You see, you have to use your creativity how to collect the waste. One thing, the waste is very dangerous, hazardous, and you can be infected anytime, because in that kind of bundle of plastic waste there is face mask. So you don't know whether this face mask is infected by COVID, by the virus or not. But you are exposing yourself to this kind of working environment. Okay. All right. So coming back to KDB Waste, KDB Waste. We are not a big company. We are not public listed company like KPS, but we do have a lot of peoples, because the operation needs a lot of peoples. We have 11,000 crew at the ground fields, and we have 800 staff direct employment for KDB Waste Management. And daily we are collecting 7-ton waste in Selangor. Can't you imagine 7,000 ton waste in Selangor? That is the number that we are collecting from this advanced or very populated state in Selangor. See, because Selangor, as you know, that we are people reside in Selangor around 6.5 million. Okay, and for domestic waste itself is around 7,000 ton per day, right? And when you add on to with this public cleansing about 3,000 ton, okay, so all in we are collecting around 10,000 ton waste per day. It's not per year, per day, right? Okay. So, what the statistics from this KPKT, the Ministry of Home Ministry, they are saying that the statistic stated around 38,000 ton of waste is being collected in the whole of Malaysia daily. It is equivalent to the KLCC. Yeah. When you are involved in this waste management industry, you cannot run away from things like what do you call it? The burden of picking up this kind of waste. Is either simple waste, as simple as the plastic sweet, or the wrappers, or it could be the dead body. You see, sometimes the dead body also found inside the garbage bin at the area. We also face this kind of experience. And we also facing collecting waste like motorcycle, car. You see, so it become waste because the rundown motorcycles or cars will dump into the garbage bin. For those or maybe some of us, if you have experience, the strata kind of houses, usually they have this big garbage area, you see, and then all garbage like the domestic or public cleansing is all dumped into this garbage bin. But you see, this is wrong because this big garbage bin is only meant for domestic waste. But what our people did, us is not other people, it's us, what we did, which is wrong, we putting all kind of waste into this garbage bin. But this garbage bin is meant only for domestic. Yeah. So we have, I think, after this you may have to learn what is how to separate your waste. The waste management, there's a lot of issue. We're talking about the waste separation, talking about recycle, talking about the disposal of waste. You see, all of this is something that you have to, you guys, the youngsters, have to educate ourselves on how to separate your waste, how to do the recycling, to make our people, to make our country, to make our states more cleaner, and to make our lives better. You see, because if we are keep on generating waste, what will happen? There's a lot of effect, a lot of the bad effect to our environment. Not only to environment, but to our health condition as well, to our well-being, to the whole spectrum of our life. It will be affected. We are not taking care carefully of our waste. Yeah, KDP waste management. Even though we are collecting 10,000 ton waste per day, but we also do a lot of recycling. We do a lot of a big scale. We have two recycling center, a big scale of recycling center in Selangor. Yeah, we have one in Subang Jaya. We have one in Klang. This is why we need to do this recycling center. Why we need to set up recycling center? Because we have to do recycles. Right? Not everything have to be a waste. You see? But certain things, certain item, you can repurpose, you can reproduce to be a better product, a better things that you can use. Yeah? Like just now, Hannah was saying that they have, promoting this FSC, paper. So same thing. Can it be also, we are in that industry, we have to promote this recycles, segment. That's why we built two recycle center in Selangor for the people of Selangor to do recycles. And our recycle items, we have, we send it to our JV partner. One of it is Petronas Chemicals. Yeah, we have signed up MOU with them, where all these recycled items we will repurpose and they will produce and process it to become biodiesel, for instance. Yeah, to make it as energy. They can convert this waste to energy. Yeah, to another product. That's why I would like to encourage all of you to start doing waste separation at home and to start doing recycle at home for your better life, for our generation, for our future generation. You see, in Malaysia, you are talking about recycle, for instance. The ratio is still at a very low rate. We even not achieving 10% as compared to other developed countries like UK, like Singapore. They have, they have a 52% of recycling rate. That means the people are doing sustainability. Okay, but us in Malaysia, we have even though we are 62 years independence, but and now we are living in 2022. See? So what is our vision of 2020? We want to go to achieve the advanced nations country, right? But what happened in 2022 now? In terms of waste management, for instance, not my responsibility. When you are talking about waste management, it's not only my responsibility or my clear responsibility, but it's the responsibility of all of us. You see, we need to reform the waste management, and we have to reform our mindset. Start doing something good. One good example is doing the waste separation. Like I said just now, the ratio of waste separation is very, very low. Not even 10%. Same goes to the recycling. So, what we have to do? We are talking about sustainability, but the basic of the fundamental things we are not doing, so we are not sustainability. We are not sustainable. You are mentioned about SDG 17, you are mentioned about well-being, but the fundamental things is not being done by us. Definitely, we are not moving to the SDG objective or SDG goals. Yeah. So that's the opening from KDB Waste Management. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Mahfuza, for the information given. So here we know that your company provides the lorries that we didn't know of and how much waste that they've collected from us. And from your explanation, it clearly seems that your company is very interesting. So as we all can see here, these two companies have very different milestones, very different backgrounds and organizational structure within their respective companies. But one thing remains the same, is that both of these companies are focused on creating and maintaining sustainability. Right, Atira? You agree?
I agree, Nabila. Not only that, but these two companies have production activities that are related to operation decisions that can increase productivity and generate a sustainable competitive advantage. Which brings us to the next question. I'm pretty sure that everyone here is curious of what kind activities production that these two companies have. So, Mrs. Mahfuza, would you like to tell us about the production activities of KDB Waste Management?
Okay. What I mentioned just now, we are collecting 10,000 waste in Selangor, and we are the biggest waste collector in Malaysia. You see, and we are collecting at this, the most populated state in Malaysia, right? When it comes to this production, that's why I think I've respond based on my first explanation just now. You see, KDB Waste, we are having a huge revenue, 500 millions a year revenue, okay, and our cost of operation also huge. It's around, I think, because we are collecting the whole Selangor. In Selangor, we have 12 PBTs, we have 12 local councils, yeah, and we have like Subang Rajas Subang Jaya, Sepang, Eskuan Selangor, Kuala Langat, and also Sabah Bernam, Shah Alam, Petaling Jaya. It's all waste is collected by KDB Waste, and our asset for collections of waste, we have 1,100 garbage truck, yeah, moving around in the whole of Selangor. Okay, we have the huge garbage truck, which is, the capacity around more than 10 tons, the capacity was of the lorry. And we have one small lorry, this is unroll or roll on or roll off, where the capacity was about 3 tons, So 3 tons is a huge waste. It's not small, it's not small amount. Okay? And then we also have other machinery like the road sweeper. This machinery is very is equipped with all the technologies, with all this equipment like the vehicle monitoring system and all that. Because why? Because we want this, machinery to be very efficient in collecting to do the waste collections. And you know why? From the last year we have this flood crisis, right, in December. So we involved in this post-flood rescue, okay, and we have collected 48,000 waste, 48,000 ton of waste in 17 days. You know, this only for the post-flood waste. Yeah, it's not the daily waste collections. You know, this is additionals to the daily waste produce. Yeah, so that's why, you know what, nowadays this is November, right? Sorry, this is December. Okay, December is the month of everybody is so scared because scared of the flood coming in, because the Met Malaysia is forecasting that climate change will happen, and then the flash flood will be coming in. So we in KDP Waste is always on a ready mode. We are on standby. We are also on the preparation since September 2022, because the December 2021 flood crisis is very, very bad, and it affect the area that we did not expect happen. You see, Shah Alam is affected, badly affected. People in Taman Sri Muda lost their houses, lost their belongings. I was there. You know, my friends Zaina also there. We do rescue. We go down to Taman Sri Muda. We go down to the Taman Sri Nanding. You can see the Taman Sri Nanding Hulu Langa is like, it's a total loss, right? The road is breaking, and then people's trapped in that flood, and we also cannot go into that area. It's really, really terrible. And the cleaning of the post flood, it doesn't take only 17 days. We have to clean up. I mean, the until now, certain area, the post flood is still, we still have to do the cleaning. You see, and then we did the total completions of the cleaning up to March 2022, and now coming back, we are have to be ready again with the flood. So this is something that scattered. So with the coming back to your question, yeah, KDEP have a lot of the products that, and maybe it comes to probably these services. Our product is our services. So these are the important things that we have, KDP have to deliver to the people of Selangor, which is our commitment. We have to deliver the best services for the people in Selangor. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Mahfuza. As we can see here, your company has done a lot, not only in terms of providing services, but also helping out the community, especially after the flood. Even now, for the company to be able to be prepared for what is yet to come, since taking knowledge of what happened last year, right? Yeah. So, right now, maybe we can ask Mrs. Hana about some of the activities that KPS Berhad has done.
For KPS itself, in our own operation, our production, like I mentioned earlier, it focuses more on B2B products. So we are plastic molding. That means we produce parts, for example, in vacuum cleaner or for cars, but we don't produce the whole product. So when customer come, okay, we want this part only. Okay, we give to them and they will assemble. But most of our production, the material come from resin. Resin come from fossil fuel, which is that's why when you talk about climate change, you need to see your business risk in terms of another 10 years, 20 years. So nowadays there is lots of talks where fossil fuel will be something that business have to forego in the next futures. So one of the things is that we, as a business owner, we have to think how to innovate our products. to find if there is any substitute for this resin, if there is any bio resin available that is as the same quality of this resin. And aside from that, we use energy, and we try to as much as possible not to use energy that have high emission factor. And if there is any renewable energy available, we try to substitute with that. So this is something that happen in the business, especially manufacturing. We also talk closely with all these operations people to make sure that they always put the thinking of this climate risk that will affect their business, whether their location, whether it's their product, or whether it's their processes. So one of our subsidiaries, King Coil, they are now try to produce bedding material from sustainable material itself and recycled material. So we can see that the thinking start to come from them. Actually, sustainability is more behavior. It's how you try to innovate yourself so that it will leave positive impact, whether to the people or to the planet. So this is what we try to achieve the culture among our people, so that they can actually think of how to make the product in a more sustainable way, producing less waste. And for example, if there is one of the thing in other subsidiaries, they are starting to use bio ink because we also print something. So we want to use a less toxic and bio ink where it is more environmental friendly and less toxic. So I think this is a short and a complete description of how we actually try to operate our business.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Hannah. It seems that the production activities at KPS Berhad are very interesting as well. So, from what we have gained, from what Mrs. Hannah and Mrs. Mahfuza shared with us, let's dig in more about about the challenges in maintaining sustainability in organization. So, Ms. Mahfuza, would you like to start?
Yeah, everything what we do is always have good and bad, and have challenges. Yeah? But if you see the challenges as something a big obstacle, so you cannot move forward, right? So in our organization, we always promote all the positivity. Yeah, nothing is impossible. Everything can be done. Same goes to sustainability. I remember last time when I was involved in the from the beginning the operations, the establishments of this KDB Waste Management in 2016. Yeah, when we first assigned to take over the scope of waste management from the local council, the most difficult or the most complex waste issues in Selangor is in the area of Klang. You see, because the Klang area, they have a mixed development. They have a lot of traders, they have a lot of gangsters, they have a lot of residentials, and they have a lot of waste produced by the peoples in Klang area. Anyone from Klang here? Okay, thanks. It's good for you. So the first 3 months we took over Klang, we are so shocked because the waste is so huge, you see. And some area, the waste management, the waste management is, for information, it always associated with the gangsterism, because there's an illegal waste collector, operating. Okay, but now we want to make it legal. Okay, so of course these illegals collector, they don't feel, they don't like it. But we have to face it. So our people are like, oh, how want to do it, they can stop anyway. They stop our garbage truck, they want money, things like that. But we cannot be so afraid of these kind of challenges. For instance, so we have to move on. So Klang, we in 3 months time we managed to collect the waste very smoothly. The complaints of waste dropped down in the first 2 months of collections. We operating 95%. Complaints on waste dropped 95% on average. Last time the complaints on waste, it could be up to 1,000 complaints. But when KDB Waste took over, it dropped down up to 95%. Only about 100 complaints we received from Klang people at that time. So when we successful in Klang, we go to other local council, Ampang Jaya, Selayang, and last one is Subang Jaya. Okay, so this is a very I would say it's a very challenging kind of process that we have to face. But when it comes to sustainability, is of course in the organization is very you cannot do it alone. You have to do it with all your people, with in a collective way, right? You see, like I mentioned just now, how many of us is practicing recycle in your own life, in your own houses? How many of you doing waste separation? And how you want to transfer or you transform this kind of culture in the organizations, right? Is there some things it's very hard for you to change. You have one because your habit is something like you have a habit of playing football, and suddenly you have to play football with a good attire or something like that. So something that you have to change, the culture that you have you already in it, embedded in it, and something that you have to transform. Something is difficult. So now let's say you have not doing waste separation, for instance, or recycling, and then suddenly I ask you to do recycle in UITM. Can you do that immediately? I can see if you go out from this hall, how many of you will throw these mineral bottles? Are you assemble at one point, put it in one good place, and you give to KDEB? We can collect. You can give to us this bottle. We can recycle. You can contact KDEB Waste. To collect these plastic bottles, or even this used furniture. If you don't want this furniture anymore, you want to purchase a new one, you can ask KDB to collect, give to us, and give you money. We convert the trash to cash. I give you cash, you give us waste. We can do that. You can contact, you keep our number, and then we can do another program on this recycle or waste management kind of things. This is what we want to inculcate this culture to all of you. You go back and tell your parents. Go back and tell to Dr. Arif or Professor Ramza, is it? And or your dean. From now on, don't throw the bottles of minerals. Give to KDB. But you don't give only one lah. You give a lot. You give like 20 20 basket ke, then we can come and collect. You don't ask me to collect one piece of this chair, tak boleh lah. So maybe this, let's say you want you sell this what do you call it, the chairs to us. Maybe it costs about 5 ringgit, for instance. It's still the money. If you don't want the money, you can sedekah to masjid, for instance. Then you get pahala. It's a guaranteed investment for you. Am I right or not? So after this, we can have this kind of program, Doctor? So for all of you, you can have another program, waste collection, waste separation, or recycles, together with KPI. Even KPI also, we are one of the partner, collaborating with all these kind of activities. In our office, in Menara Berai Shah Alam, we collaborate with cloth, yeah. We place one fabric bin, so you don't want your jacket, your skirt, your tudung, you can dump into this fabric bin, and we give it to cloth. Cloth is at the NGO, yeah. They process this fabric, convert it to other products like handbag, they do t-shirt, a better product, which is more sustainable, more environmental friendly. Okay, so this is what we do. We are doing at the back end, for KDB. That's why we need waste. We need waste from you. Okay, but you are not waste lah. And then become a waste person, right? I believe that you ITM's graduates, they are not a waste. You are sellable. You have the market in the outside industry. And but coming back to these ways, is it? Even though to me the biggest challenges is the resistance of us people, yeah, to move to a better lifestyle. I'm not accusing, but we have to change. We have to reform our mind, our conduct, and our practices. We cannot lay back, and we have to save this planet. You see, like KDP, we are not only focusing on the profit, but we are focusing on the peoples. We are focusing on the planet. If you learn sustainability ESG subject, you see this triple bottom line is very important. People, planets, and profits. For organizations, we do not only focusing on profit, but we are focusing as well on the planet and on the peoples. Yeah. So people has a responsibility to save our planet. We, you, myself, all of us in this house. This is our responsibility. You don't talk big things when the fundamental thing you cannot manage. You see? So these are the things that we have to change. We cannot resist. We cannot resist to change. If we have to reform our lifestyle to be a better, we have to do it. You see, sometimes people say, sometimes that's why I don't feel inferior when we're working with a waste management company. I've been working with water company for 17 years, and I've been working with investment holdings company. I was also from KPS Berhad last time, okay, and I also involved in property management industry as well, and now I'm in waste management. So waste management is more complex. It's more something that close to our life. You see, because the waste management is actually it's not the responsibility of the waste collector. It is the responsibility of all of us. If a company like us, KD Waste, we love to collect waste from your houses because we get money. The local council will pay to us. The more waste we collected, the more money we get. But that is not the only objective for our company to collect a lot of waste. But we want to make our peoples, our country more sustainability by reducing the waste generation. We have to change the kind of to me, this is my personal opinion. We have to reduce the waste generations, but we have to increase the recycled generation. Am I correct or not? Because if you produce a lot of recycled item, it can repurpose that recycle to be another product, right? So it can be better. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Mahfuza, especially after explaining some of the challenges that the company is involved, mainly focuses on the complexity of the services that you provide, especially in terms of collecting these waste. But also you mentioned the gangsterism that you had to face when you were moving to Klang, right? And the amount of waste that you were not prepared for. So those are some of the challenges if you were to listen to Mrs. Mahfuza's explanation. So maybe now, for Mrs. Hana, you explained that your company is focusing on innovation, right, in the manufacturing industry. So we would like to know some of the challenges you faced for your company in order to maintain the sustainability while ensuring that your company's the industry for your company is still managed to be captured. Yeah.
Okay. Of course, the challenges from our company and KDB Waste will be different because we don't deal directly with community like Mrs. Mafuza have to deal with. So the challenges is mostly will be on our internal workforce. Um, the first challenge, because I've been in few industries and with different risks of sustainability, the first challenge is the same challenge as Ms. Mafuza, is the mindset. Okay, I give you example. You guys know COP27? COP27 is where leaders of the world will gather and talk about climate change and how they want to reduce the 1.5 degree or 2 degree or not we will be boiling hot. Okay. And these leaders do understand about what happen if they don't do climate change. They are the one who make decision. They do understand all the technicalities. They are expert in terms of the GHG and everything. But in the bin of COP27, they have separation, and you can see all is done together. You see, these are the people that's supposed to drive COP27 and drive to reduce 1.5 degrees of the Earth's temperature. And they themselves that have, they know, but they still didn't do the waste separation. What's the challenge? Because sustainability, like I said earlier, is on behavior. It depends on behavior. It needs you to have a change of culture. Um, it needs you at the very beginning, before even you decide, you have to think. That's why, supporting Mrs. Mafuza, waste is another resource. So before even it become a waste, before it come to you, you have to think whether you need to buy this. What is the impact if you buy that? How you going to recycle that? That's the first thing when you want to purchase something. Even your shirt, even because I believe Mr. Mafuzano, fabric is the biggest culprit in waste, and it's not easy to dispose. So when you want to buy things, nowadays our fabric is made largely from plastics. So you have to think wisely. And because my background is also I spend a lot of time in research. So I am part of the Malaysian Society for Marine Science. So I've followed them to do sampling. And microplastic is there. Actually, in our body, we might have already microplastic. So microplastic, what is microplastic? It's actually come from a larger plastic, but they get degraded into tiny molecules and get ingested by seafood, and then we eat them and they become part of our body. So some nowadays people get sick easily with lots of this carcinogenic is not something that is unusual. So your behavior from you wake up is very important. How you use your water, use it wisely, because get yourself educated, because water doesn't come from the rain itself. We get our water from groundwater, and to get groundwater you need land. That's why all this Bukit Bukau is very important. it holds the water, and the water catchment area is mostly in a very hilly area. So back to the question, the challenges is always behavior. So the first thing is to tackle, like in our operation, we don't tell them, okay, you have to use eco-friendly material. We don't tell them to do that. We have to understand how they operate. You have to understand how people behave first, because you don't want them to think that sustainability is a new thing, it's a behavior thing. It's rather than what you are doing every day in a better way that leave a better impact to the planet and to the people. For example, when our operation one day will use automation to reduce to mitigate risk. We have to think about what will happen to the people. So in climate change, not only about the planet, we have to think about just transition. When we transition into, banking nowadays are digitalized, so they have to bring out lots of people. But these people, it's not fair if it's just being laid off. So you have to think how to fairly to be fair to them too. So sustainability is about how you think your everyday behavior to make sure you give that positive impact to your surrounding. So the challenge is always, of course, behavior, and how we do it is we have to communicate. We have to communicate. We have to educate them, empower them, and because different people have different kind of upbringing, geographical region can be also one of the things that behavior people are different. So you have to make sure that you speak in their level. Uh-huh. So, for example, when you want ask them to do sustainability, they won't understand sustainability if you talk about last time I worked in a plantation company, so we have people from the estate. You cannot say, okay, do sustainability. For them, what is sustainability? What is EES? So you have to tell them, okay, when you harvest the palm, please make sure that you don't leave any leftover. Because actually, to be sustainable, you have to take everything. Because each of the palm oil, they produce oil. So they don't know that if they didn't leave anything, then that's sustainability. But we just have to tell them the way they can do their work better. That's how you also communicate with your society, with your friends. You don't tell, hey, this is not sustainability. Just tell them, maybe you need to recycle this. Maybe we can send this to a recycling center. Or maybe this is not a material that is good for the environment. Something like that. Yeah, some like when you want to educate your parents, you don't tell them that, Ma, this is not sustainable. We just to help them, facilitate them. That is how that is some of the challenge. Not only I think in our organization, because we deal with people. When we deal with environment, it's easier. Last time when we had crisis in environment, for example, if there is any wildlife goes into your area, you just have to transfer back. The wildlife don't answer back, right? Or you can replant trees. But for people, it's more complex. So you have to understand the behavior and the right way to deal with that. Okay. I hope this answer the question. Thank you.
So from what Mrs. Hannah and Mrs. Mahfuzah have shared with us, I can conclude that it is important to have a correct mindset and behavior to start and create sustainable, not just an organization, but
You
as
guys
a
have to be the change agent from
yes,
now.
yes, we have to change. We have to change to create a sustainable country. We start from small to a bigger. We start from small step to achieve bigger goals. So besides of mindset and behavior, we should also educate. Education is important to all people to start taking the small steps into sustainability. So, for example, by waste separation and recycling. There's a difference between waste separation and recycling. So people need to know what is the difference so that they can start into sustainability. So since we all have asked the question, now we open for Q&A session with the audience. So who would like to ask the first question?
Yes.
Yeah, please introduce yourself and ask your question.
Hi, my name is Adia Apni. I have a question for Puan Mahfuza. I'm wondering, other than getting paid by the local councils as a revenue for the KDEB, did the waste that you guys have collected, which is 10,000 tons, give you guys contribute to the revenue of the company as well?
Okay, Alia, thank you for the questions. Okay, yes, basically our revenue coming from the local council because of the waste collection. Okay, I just give you a brief of the waste management process. Yeah, for KDB, we come to your house collect the waste. Okay, because our license is only collection, right? The disposal part is done by another entity, which is Worldwide Holdings. Yeah, it's this for the case of Selangor lah, right? Because now in Selangor, actually we have three landfill, three big landfills. One is Tanjung 12, one in Jeram, one is in Bukit Tangga towards this Bukit Beruntung. Okay, so the waste that we collected, we send it to the landfills. Okay, and then from the landfills, all the waste is when we send the waste, then they will pay us based on the tipping fee, right? They have records so that we can claim to the local council. Then the local council will pay to us, right? For now, the biggest revenue come from this collection stream. Okay, but for the recycles and other for recycles, we for now because we just started somewhere in 2018, 2019. Okay, so the revenue is not that significant. So we're doing it for the sake of sustainability, yeah, and a kind of good gesture to the people of Selangor in practicing recycling behavior or habits for us. So, but coming to maybe 5 years, actually, our new project is, establishing modern and integrated disposal. So that means that KDB will also take part in disposals business. For now, we have two companies dealing in disposal. So maybe in 5 years' time, you can see the disposals area, the landfill. That means the landfill. Now our landfill is sanitary landfills, conventional type of system. Yeah, but what KDB want is more modern, more advanced kind of landfill. Maybe that's why the name is not landfill anymore. The name may be waste to energy. Integrated disposals treatment facility that can cater, can process the waste and convert the waste. We have a facility to convert the waste to become energy. One of the landfills for now in Selangor that I think they have this kind of facility, but it's very, it's not very, what do you call it, a very advanced, just a very basic facility, which is in Bukit Tangga. It's a very good landfill, and I encourage all of you, if you have a time, maybe you can go to this landfill. You want to see a kind of modern type of landfill in Malaysia, but you want to see the conventional type of landfill, you can go to like Jeram or Tanjung 12 near KLIA. Yeah, the conventional landfill, I tell you, is like something you can see the ocean of waste in front of your eyes. You see, you can smell a good smell, yeah, at the landfill. And that I think last time I went to the landfill without the face mask. That is before COVID. But after COVID, you have to put on your face mask, to screen all the smell coming from to your mouth and nose. But for this one landfills managed by Berjaya in Bukit Tagak is a very good landfill. I would also just arrange one trip for the new staff, to understand better on the landfill process and how they process their waste and all that, and what are the technology they have, what the facility they have. This is a good exposure for you guys. I really encourage all of you, because you only know how to throw waste, but you don't know how the stakeholder process the waste. You see, this is kind of information that you guys have to know. I think I would suggest to doctor to bring all the students go and visit this landfill at one time. You don't have to wear a good attire, like this. You have to wear something that fit with the situation, the conditions at the landfill. You can see what is the landfill in Malaysia. I've been traveling to UK, to Spain, even to Korea and Japan. Their system of waste processing is very good. You can't see waste. Even you go to Korea, you hardly to see waste is littering around the road, right? And then even Singapore, right, the very nearest country. I'm not condemning our country, but really sad of our people mindset when come, because this is where the sustainability started. You have to change. We have to change. If we did not want to change, how if you bring a very advanced technology, your fundamental thing is not change, then it's become defeat the purpose. Actually, you are not really into that system. So if you go to United Kingdom, for instance, you hardly to see waste. Waste is properly processed. You have 3 separated bin, for plastic, for paper, for glasses, and then there's a one bin for recycling. But do we have in Malaysia? Do you have in UiTM? KDEB also, we have to have it, because we always collector. So something like that. Maybe you can start from your house. You go back and tell your parents, hello, Ibu Ayah, we have to separate our waste. This waste bin is for plastic, and then one is for household. You cannot mix the household waste with other things. You see? Coming back to your question, yeah, for now our revenue stream is still from waste collections. Yeah, other things is still at is very not that significant, but we have to like recycle for 2 recycle center, 3. Now we have 3 recycle center. One recycle center in Cyberjaya is open for public, so you can bring all your things, and then we pay you directly on the day you bring all the things, and we pay to you. Yeah, it's a very encouraging feedback from the people surrounding Cyberjaya. So for those in Cyberjaya, I wish that you can go to our, bring your things and sell it to us. Yeah, it's kind of promotion, eh? So that's all. Any more question? Don't be shy. I want to see you ITM. It is a very energetic and very aggressive.
I want to ask, what are some of the ways that students can promote sustainability?
Okay. The easiest is what do you call it? Fabric. Yeah. Okay. Or the most easiest is this plastic bottles. If you can promote in this university, you have is either you can still use these bottles, okay, these water bottles, okay, or you have I'm not promoting Kuwait or Kuku, you see, but you see, I think because if you use that kind of water, I think you minimize the usage of single plastic, right? Yes, as an alternative. Okay. Or I can see a lot of people, carry water in his tumbler, right? So I think this is also a good practices compared to water bottle. But if you want to use this, but make sure the bottles is apa nama ni, you have to keep this and you have to throw it in a proper kind of bin. You don't. Sometimes I see, I understand youngster, even my children as well. Okay, sometimes once they have drinks the water from this bottle, they just put it on the table or just throw it, not in the proper waste bin. What I did, that's why as a mother, I have to collect this bottle, put it in a one separated plastic bin, okay? And then once the apa nama ni, the cook came into our house, all these things has been separated. So it make it easy. Once you make easy to us, and then the process of collection is easy, right? That's why for KDB waste, our collection time, we have a structured schedules. Like domestic waste, a certain area, it could be we collected on every Saturday, every Thursday, and every Tuesday. Some cycle is like Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. Okay, usually on Sunday we did not do collection as most of the area, but we go down to the community area to do gotong royong. You know what? KDB Waste is doing gotong royong, helping the community every week. Saturday and Sunday, we go down, we go to the people, we go to MPKK, we go to the Ketua Kampung, we go to the mosque, we go to this any kind of village or residential area and do gotong royong. That's why our people is working 365 days a year. During festive, we're also working. Hari Raya Haji, Chinese New Year, Thaipusam, Deepavali, we are working. You see? And sometimes the sad thing, Hari Raya, we celebrate Hari Raya, after we go to mosque, after that immediately we do collection. Yeah, you can go into our KDB social media and website. We have in IG, in FB, in LinkedIn. We post a lot of our activities, and we do like video. Telling our kind of work pattern that we are working on this festive season as well. Tak balik kampung. You guys mau balik kampung, we all collect sampah. You can see that. If tak percaya, you tengok this apa nama ni, during what do you call it, Christmas. Coming is Christmas in December, right? And New Year. You can see that during this festive, our lorry is still moving around to your area. Okay. And during festive season, the waste is increasing. Betul you do apa nama ni jamuan makan or whatever like Malay, there are a lot of food kan, lagi rendang ada, ini ada, semua ada kan, lagi banyak ni kan, lagi banyak waste so same goes to other races and religion as well. All festivals is celebrated and then the waste is, that's why for KDEB we will wait for before the festive and after the festive. That is the trend where the waste tonnage is high. Okay, that's why we cannot be on a long holiday. That's why our people has to be a lot. And that's why we have 11,000 workers for the whole of Selangor to collect your waste. Yeah, because we have to do the job. That's why a certain area, which is the biggest area, we have to come to your house as early as 3 in the morning. You see? Sometimes you are still, still in the deep sleep. You are coming to your house. We do the collection. Some residents might be, they sometimes some areas they don't like it, but we have to do it because we have to. If we do late collections, we have to face the congested traffic, schools where people going to office, students going to school. So this kind is will definitely disturb our operations, our collection. And for every festival, usually we do free collection, but not for the domestic, for the public cleansing. For the bulk waste collection. Like sometimes festival you want to replace your furniture with a new brand. Your mother wants to buy new refrigerator, to buy what they call it, a new wardrobe. So the old wardrobe you can give to us, and we bring it to our recycle center. So, but that kind of collection we do it for free, without any charges. So for those staying in Selangor, today I'm telling you, you can contact KDEB to do this free collection, but during festivals only. Only during festival. But because some of the bulky waste collection at certain areas, certain local council, for the huge of collections of bulky waste, the local council will do it. But for the simple one, KDB will have to do the collections. Yeah. So even if UiTM want to, to do this kind of exercise, we can help you as well. Because UiTM is our industrial partners. Okay. We have signed up with UiTM as an industry partner, so we don't have a problem. Not even if you are not signing as an industry partner, we also still we can help you. Yeah. So these are the services that KDB has have in our kind of, it's as a gesture of something like CSR. Yeah. Our CSR budget for information every year we allocate more than 500,000. Yeah, is mostly is for waste bin donation, for programs Gotong Royong, for awareness, for a lot of programs. Right, this year we have I think more than 100 Gotong Royong in a year, and we also involved in waste bin. This year we have given to the community close to 2,000 waste bin. Waste bin have a few types, you see. A bigger type of waste bin, and the small type like we call it the mobile garbage bin we have, the leach bin we have. So we donate to the people for those because local council actually they don't have a budget for giving waste donations to us, because in our Selangor we have 6.5 million people in Selangor. If every houses to be given waste bin, of course the cost is very huge, because one waste bin at least you have to spend around 250 ringgit. Yeah, I think the smaller size like 122 milliliter is about 148, right? I think about 148, something like that. That is the smaller size of the waste bin. Just imagine if every houses has to be allocated with this bin, is really costly. Yeah. But to me, my personal opinion, the waste bin should be provided by us, by the user, by us. We should buy. You don't have to wait for KDB or local councils to provide the waste bin, just because it's only 200 ringgit, but you can use the bin for 3 years, 4 years. Yeah. So maybe you can go back, tell your parents, don't be so don't be so economic in spending investment for this waste bin. But this is necessary, because if you don't put the waste bin in front of your house, you see, at night maybe cat or maybe dog come and dig your waste, and then it becomes scattered. It become a lot of things to do, a lot of job to do. So better you have one good waste bin in front of your house, and then so that our crew can do the collections daily. Okay, I think I'm giving more information to you guys. Okay, thank you.
So students start practicing sustainability by recycling. For your information, UITM also have a bin for fabric waste. It's located behind Richard Amo buildings. So you can recycle your fabric. It could include bags, clothes, or anything made by fabric into the bin. Okay. That's all. Next question, please.
Uyo.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Azra Ilhami. So my question is for Miss Hana. What if the job or company the fresh graduate works for does not implement SDG? Can they still practice SDG on by their own? Thank you.
That's a good question. Okay, SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, is basically is a framework, a guideline, so that if people don't understand sustainability, then they have what they can do to support sustainable development work. So if any company did not supporting this framework, of course, we as people that live in this planet, we have to support sustainability, whether SDG. There's actually a lot more frameworks. When you go into um, your job one day, you will see certain company they adopt the World Economic Forum sustainability. Some adopting the Europe Charter. Some US have their own rule and regulation in terms of sustainability. So as long as you know what you are doing is something that will benefit others and will increase into efficiency, it definitely in a way you will definitely support the SDG. And actually you don't need to be somebody from sustainability background. I would say that uh, I have interviewed people and been interviewed for so many times. And one of the things they want to see is your passion. In sustainability, you need to be passionate to do this. Just like Mrs. Mahfuza, because Mrs. Mahfuza is so passionate. So that's why it keeps rolling. Because sustainability requires you to innovate. It doesn't have certain type of degree. My staff here, he have a degree in mathematics, and I'm from biology. And some of those doing sustainability, I know they have background in communication. So in any way, because communication is also very important for you to a lot of journalists are writing good article in sustainability. So you can be working in any area, even if you want to do sustainability. It's just that sometimes you have to see where is your strength. It's let's say even I have attended the MIPA, Malaysian Association for Accountancy, okay? And they are very strong in ESG and sustainability. So even you are from accountancy background, nowadays lots of sustainability want this kind of background. If you go to any big four, they are now very fast hiring in sustainability. Um, Based on my personal experience, I have been called all of these before to join the company because now the sustainability profession is something that is people need. Whether they are audit firms, consultant, organization, banks, and they are still trying to find their position where they are now in sustainability. So this is the right time if you want to join sustainability. Um, the whether what's your background is. Yeah, I hope this answer your question.
We can move on to the next question, maybe from this section. Yeah, you over there. You can introduce yourself and then ask your question to whoever you wanted to ask from the speakers.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to respected speakers and to all members on the floor. So I am Adi Putra from class Business Administration in Makti. So for these past several years, we have seen different prime ministers and different governments. So just by changing the government, so they have the different policies and different vision. So does this affected the what was it? KPS KPS strategies of planning? So does it affect the different government policies, right? They keep changing, and does it affected your company's strategy of maybe planning in the future? So yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's a good question. Because sustainability, one of the thing in when you talk with United Nations, one of the thing is that they want institutions to drive sustainability. The biggest institution in any country will be the government. So the government play very huge role because they will put a mandates, and their mandates will actually drive changes for companies. But um, in different ways, industry have also been the force that push the government into mandating certain policy. So, for example, certain high risk company, um, for KPS, we are not considered in that high risk yet because, okay, certain industry in Bursa Malaysia, they have been ranked differently, depend on their risk in sustainability. For manufacturing, the risk is less, but because of top glove case, okay, the risk is going higher a bit. And also, how the government govern the country is also being rated as a risk or not, because governance is very important. So last time when we are being scrutinized and the country rating in terms of corruption is very high. So one of the thing it affect the company is that the company is being scrutinized heavily on governance, and we are mandated to have anti-corruption, anti-bribery policy, and each of the employees have to take the vows on that, and they have documents to sign. So of course, whatever happened to governments will also trickle down to the companies in that country. And actually, more into sustainability, it doesn't affect so much, but you know that when the change of government, the stocks also the stocks in the market also affected. But as long as the organization are playing a role to influence the government into taking a very huge step to make sure that sustainability is in place, then I think the government will have to also follow what the industry wants. And I believe nowadays the voice of the people are even larger than before, and you can see that from, okay, I don't want to talk politics, but the manifesto in terms of sustainability for each of the party is different, and they are supporting those with a huge manifesto in terms of their commitment in sustainability and environment. They want those that really know how to do things in sustainability to really hold the position, because we don't want to be left behind. If you see country like Indonesia, they really take advantage of now the sustainability. Jokowi has recently able to get funds for millions of USD on sustainability, just on to curb climate change in Indonesia. And if we don't innovate and we don't really voice what we want, and we push the government to do that, we will left behind, because sustainability will be what investor want to see in company. And you can see that nowadays, if you go check in Google, you Google any company, beside their stock market, there is one more site, CDP. CDP is Carbon Disclosure Project. It is one of the rating for sustainability that investors will see hugely, because this will see how you actually help to reduce the emission, how you control your emission and everything else, and how you mitigate your risk. So it's already part. of that. So you can see that if we don't take this chance, so Malaysia will be left behind. Philippines is also chasing us, and then Singapore is always leading in sustainability, and their sustainability is very sophisticated already. It's led by the banks. So when the banks push, the company need to do sustainability. If not, they will not get funded by the bank. So everybody have role. The financial institution, government institution, industry institution. Just that you just have to know the right institution for you to push. For example, when you are from plantation company, you have to push those from MITI or from the commodity ministry. Yeah, so they will have to change because you are the one who actually help the economy of the nation. Yeah. I have worked from NGOs perspective, from huge corporation perspective and state company perspective. I believe each of it have their own voice that they can push sustainability using their own strength. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kutina Africa. I have a question for Madam Mahfuza. Does KDEB have any collaborative programs with any industry, especially for IPT or IPTs? For example, programs that promotes sustainable development in terms of waste management.
Thank you for that question. Of course, we have a lot of collaborations with the IPT. Even UITM with the UGC, UITM Green Center, they are our consultants. We are now one of the important project with UGC is measuring KDB waste performance in this industry in the state, and we want to gauge what is the public's opinion on our services delivered to our customers. This one project. Another collaborations we have we are getting IPT like again UITM certain faculty in engineering faculty. We are our consultants for our waste to energy plant. Yeah, this is the biggest project because this waste to energy plant it costs more than 3 billions. Yeah, it is a huge. It's the biggest project. If KDB wants to embark into this project, this is the biggest project that we are going to have it in Selangor or also in Malaysia. Yeah. And then other collaborations in terms of sustainability, environments or whatever, we have a lot. You with the UPM, we do a lot of we support UPM for any conferences, yeah, or any knowledge sharings with the expert, with the academician, with the students in terms of recycling, in terms of waste separations, in terms of technology in waste management. You see, KDEB, even though we are collecting waste, but it always we need technology in waste collections. This one of it, the our vehicles, our trucks, is equipped with all the systems. So that even if you come to our office, we have this Central Command Center. We monitor the movement of our trucks. We have 1,100 trucks moving around Selangor, so we can see the movement of these trucks. It is a real-time movement. So let's say this truck go to your place, go to Puncak Alam, for instance. So we know that this truck has done their job or not. And then we can see if let's say the trucks they stop somewhere, not at the gazetted area. So we can inquire, hey, guys, why your lorry is here? I know we can do some kind of checking. So our collaboration with the IPT is not only sustainability, but also for other areas, technology, and also we also collaborate with the IPTs for uh, helping these B40 students. Last time we collaborate with USIN, we donate I think about 10 what do you call it, this iPad and laptop, because this B40 during COVID, they have a lot of online classes, right? So they don't have this gadget, so we donate to these students. So you see, ask us, hello KDB Pamuzal, can you help us to provide this kind of facility? Yes, we do have. You know what? During COVID time, KDB took initiative, force our people to donate their money, their salary for these CSR donations. And we give this fund to the people in Selangor. We raise 6 times of donations from salary. We have arranged, we impose this managing director, they have to give 1,000. The general manager, they have to give 500 for this fund. Okay, so we use that fund. But the best thing, for the 6 time, every month we manage to collect more than 20,000 ringgit. Yeah, the donor, 400 people of these KDEB workers. Our managing director is a very driven kind of leader. So we took the instruction from him and we agreed to donate some amount of our salary for 6 months to help people, including students, USIN, UPM, especially for those B40. We know that B40 have kind of sponsorship, but when it comes to this kind of facility, we need to help them. Yeah. So this and the money that we collected every month for 6 months, we managed to help 1,200 people in Selangor. Our category of people. Yes. And this falls under my department. Yeah? So we do that collections. 1,200 people, if those is not only for B40, for those is unemployed. Some stewardess, some pilot, they lost job during COVID. We help them. They don't have money to eat, you see, to buy things. So we have to help them. 1,000 people, we managed to help them and give a financial aid. And also we bought some kind of food, like beras and all flour, or cooking of some food for the children, and we helped. And from this donation as well, we bought kind of things for the children's schoolings, like the school's bag, the stationery and all that. So this is what, thanks to COVID as well, because you know what, because luckily we have COVID. I think if we don't have COVID, our drive to do a kind of CSR maybe it's not that high, is it? Because we see that people still can survive. But when COVID, can you imagine pilot, they lost job for some, for 6 months, for 1 year, even some of them still not, don't have, it's not, still do not get the job, you see. I met one pilot, Asia pilot, now they are selling burger. You go to Shah Alam, Bukit Jelutong, there's one stall managed by this pilot, yes, smash burger. I met the founder and we brought him in our program with the orphanage for Bulan Puasa, breakfasting with the orphanage, and we bring this Smash Burger founder to help us we pay to him lah, yeah, because that time they are not flying anymore. You pilot, your salary is around, maybe the cheapest is 10K, right? Because they are specialists. So when they lose job, how they want to survive? This is kind of certainly as well. Is falls under which pillar? I think pillar number 3 for SDG goal, right? Like KDB, we are in pillar number 12. Okay, so we help them, and this year recently we collaborate with SME Bank. We help SME Bank, helping this orphanage, and then I think we have 5 orphanage, right, Zainab? 5 orphanage in Selangor, and we invite 200 volunteers from SME Bank to help us, do a cleaning gotong royong at this orphanage house, and apa nama ni, one is like charity house, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. So this kind of activity actually is it's not only collaboration with the IPT, IPTS, but also with the other institution, banking institution. You know what? KDB, KDB Waste is not only known as a waste collector, but now people know that KDB Waste is the we call it the drivers for sustainability and circular economy. You see, so people from, not only from Malaysia, I have received invitations from Finland, from Spain, and recently from Australia, from Jakarta, from Cambodia, come to our office. They want to listen what are our initiative in how we do these sustainability activities in the company and for the people of Selangor. So we share our experience, and how we do this circular economy in the platform of KDB. So this kind of the collaboration is not limited to IPT and IPTS, but of course the IPT and IPTS is the fundamental or the driving force, that can help us to make these sustainability activities so great. So it can transform this kind of the sustainability activities in the country and in our society. I would love to respond to what this Adiputra question, coming back to the politicals influence in terms of these to the organizations. For KDB Waste, of course, the political change also has impacted the organizations when it comes to the policy, especially in waste management in our industry. Because you see, in Malaysia, we have a few waste collector in the country. Okay, is either managed by the state government or the private company. For Selangor State, is managed by state government. For other states like Kuala Lumpur, Pahang, Putrajaya is managed by the federal government. For those under federal government, they have more privileges. One in terms of the biggest is in terms of the fund. Okay, that's why you can see the subcontractors or the operators of waste in Kuala Lumpur, Putrajaya. You can see, they are operating in a more privileged kind of environment, because number one, their waste is not that much as compared to Selangor. Kuala Lumpur waste is only 1,800 daily, the waste productions. But the BKL pay them more, double up from what KDB waste. I think you will be shocked if I share with you what are the rate is given to KDB for waste collection. We are paid by the local councils RM7 a month. RM7 a month for the cost of waste collection. That means a day we are only paid 25 cents to collect waste from your houses. Ini bukan sedih lah, tapi nak bagi tahu lah. Kan? This is real, this is the fact. But if you go to Kuala Lumpur, Putrajaya, they are paying 14 ringgit 80 cent per house per month. So a day they are getting around how many cent? 85 cents, 75 cents, something like that, right? It's higher. But the waste generation is lower. Like KDB waste, we are paid at the low rate, but we are collecting at the highest waste. That's why KDB is the biggest waste collector in Malaysia. We are not proud of this, but this is the fact. Sampah banyak, bayar sikit. Kan? You beli nasi lemak harga RM5, okay? Tapi nasi tu boleh makan untuk 2 sudu. Contohnya lah teknologi. Tapi you pergi dekat Selangor, you beli nasi lemak harga 50 sen, boleh makan 3 orang. Macam itulah dia punya analogi ya, doktor. So this kind of so this is one of the biggest challenges that we face. But we have commit to state government that our services, regardless of any areas, will be the same. Okay? So this is what we are always tell our those who are collaborating with us. This is what happened. Sometimes there is IPT asking how you do it, your waste collections. You can go efficient. We have this. Right? Yeah, we are spending. It's a very reasonable. We are spending. Our philosophy is we spend at the value for money. We don't lavish. Kita kena belanja memang. Now the PM10 dia cakap apa? Kita kena belanja berhikmah, kan? And kita kena. There's no more direct negotiations. The tender process is all activity in procurement. All is in tender process, right? And there's no more cronyism. I think it's a good things. We welcome this kind of philosophy because many organizations is trapped because of this kind of practices, corruption, bribery. There's a lot of cases in Malaysia nowadays. That's why Malaysia now is having trillion of debt, right? You have to read newspapers. Students have to read all their information. This is for our information, not to influence our mind. Political is something different, You don't associate all this thing with all this leader, no. But we have, you have to see what kind of leaders that is impactful to our organization, bring a good impact to the country and to the organizations. Yeah. So there are things. Sometimes it's very hard to to accept the fact, but this is what happened in Malaysia. That's why for KDB Waste, with the political change, we want some transformation in waste industry, especially in Selangor. So we cannot have a disparity in distribution of fund. Federals company, you get this much, but state company, you are given this much. So there must be a kind of equals of fairness in terms of fund distribution. Okay, but of course this is subject to certain regulation. So the regulator of waste management should also look into this, how to harmonize some kind of fund to all the operator in the whole of Malaysia. Because now what happened in Malaysia, they have a different policy. Selangor might be different, Federal might be different, the Sabah Sarawak also different, right? So you have some different is okay, but that different cannot be the excuse of you make unfairly treatment to any organizations, because you see the most populated state in Malaysia is Selangor. More people reside in Selangor. Businessmen reside in Selangor. The commercial shopping malls, the biggest malls in Selangor, and Selangor giving more employment opportunity, right? So the government, the new government has to look into this. I believe it's not only in waste management industry, but also in other industry as well. But as far as the waste industry is concerned, we have to look into this kind of issue. You know, the disparity in terms of fund distributions when it comes to waste management. Thank you.
Do you have any other questions from that side? Okay. Can you present your name and ask the questions to whoever you want to ask to?
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nazira. So I want to ask Mrs. Hana. So as you mentioned earlier, four pillar about education, entrepreneurship, community development, and environment, safety and health. So my question is, how does you embedding SDG 4 quality education in your organization helps the fresh graduates? Thank you.
Okay, that's a good question and actually a perfect question. Actually, we have GAP program. This is under our education pillar. So GAP program is actually for graduates, for fresh graduates, where we will train them and absorb them eventually to KPS. So you guys, once you grad, you can apply to this program in KPS. It wasn't restricted to any departments. So depend on the head of departments whether they need to hire gap or not at that time. So there is gap in. So we have like for example department recently we have gap in strategic planning and investment department. We have gap in HR. We also send gap to our subsidiaries. So if you guys, let's say you are from Johor, you want to work in Johor, we have our subsidiaries manufacturing company in Johor. We have our company in Penang, located very near to the airport. So most of our company is in a strategic location near to the malls. I know nowadays you guys need malls. And even like our HQ is in Shah Alam in Plaza Prangsam, very at the city center of Shah Alam. So I think our HR department, we also have internship programs for I know you guys are in the part 5 preparing for internship, so you guys are welcome to send for your internship in KPS. Yeah, this is some of the things that we try to develop the talents to support education pillar for. At the moment, I think that's the program, but I think we are having a more collaborative partnership with UITM, and maybe we will have more programs with whether graduates or undergraduates. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yes, next question.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey. This question also for Mrs. Hannah. If we were to join your company, how do we convince the management to accept our opinion when providing solution in sustainable perspective, even though we still new to the company?
Okay, that's a very good one. What I love about the new generation's kind of working condition is that it is more open, although there is hierarchy there in the office. But if you attend previously, our CEO come and talk with you. Our CEO is very open person. Sometimes you don't need your head to go to him. He's the type that will go approach you and ask whether you have breakfast. So nowadays, and the new generations, they are having different kind of perspective in terms when they want to join organization. So their opinion matter. So nowadays, if you see, even HR have changed from HR department into people culture department because the culture is now changing. I think if you go to organization that have transformed, you have no problem even though you are fresh graduates. It's very good because it shows that you innovate. You are the thinker. Nowadays, people don't even if you go to interview, HR want to see how you will build value for the company. That means that they need you to think rather than just to accept information. So, like in KPS, our interns, our freshly grad that join, they are very actively involved in discussion, and they will be brought into discussion. The top management want all these young's mind because the world is moving very fast in this VUCA world. So sometimes you guys have informations that maybe they don't have before. So it's very good if you have to take any chances for you to give your opinion. Yeah.
Does anyone have any other questions? We're opening one last question. Yes, from you. You can present your name and ask whichever speaker you want to ask your questions.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Fazlina. I want to ask Mrs. Hana, what are the objectives and targets of your sustainability effort that can be implemented by fresh graduate, and what progress has been made in meeting the goals?
Okay. At the moment, for example, for the organization itself, I have produced a 10 years plan in sustainability. So each have its phases. So at the moment, my target and goals is to develop sustainability capacity in the organization. So the goals is to make sure that we have a change of culture and sustainability will be driven by each of the departments itself. And I would say we are still at the middle of the road. We're still working into that journey, but I can see the resistance is starting to reduce among our people. So for fresh grad, for example, when you join organization, when you want to support the organization sustainability objective, is that in whatever you are dealing with, you have to know. Usually, each organization have their own objective in terms of social governance and environment. You have to know how what you are working towards will produce the results to support that goal. Okay, I give one example. For example, if you are to be put under HR, okay, under HR there is a lot of things that HR need to do to support the social pillar itself. There is inclusiveness, woman empowerment. There is, for example, sexual harassment. All this is actually part of sustainability, but people don't really realize it. Whatever make people's life better is actually sustainability. So, for example, when you join HR, maybe you can initiate woman empowerment initiative. You can celebrate a Women's Day, for example, or you can, for example, there is Human Rights Day that is coming this December. So in university, you can actually started to actually celebrate this kind of things. Sustainability have always have their days like Earth Days, Biodiversity Days, Mangrove Days. So students can actually organize events in relation to this Human Rights Days and Sustainability Days. And I think there is a National Environment Day is also coming. So this is part of the team, and this is actually a good things that employer want to see. I still remember last time in university, I involved with the Environment Day for the Kota Kinabalu City Council. I involved with the University Environment Day. So and the employee are impressed because it is something extra that you are doing that is part of your study, which can actually open up to new opportunity if you want to work in this kind of field. Yeah, this is something that actually you can support when you join organization. Thank you.
Okay, so from Mrs. Mahfuza's side, do you have any program or internship for us?
Yes, of course. I think we never stop taking UITM students to do the internship, and then even in fact we give a priority to UITM for whatever course, yeah, because we have a lot of UITM students coming to KDB Waste. I think KDB Waste has become one of the favorite places for internship. Thank you for that also from us to UITM. And for my department itself, I have several students from UITM, do the internship for in comms department, yeah. We have in KDB we have corporate corp department, we have admin department, we have finance. Finance also a lot receiving a lot of practical students from UITM, from accountancy faculty. And we also have this technical department, we have project delivery department. We also took a lot of environmental students from UITM, yeah. So with that, I think I welcome all of you to do internship in KDB Waste. It's either at the group level, at the parents company, or at our subsidiary level, because we have a subsidiary for KDB ICI as well, and also KDB services. As for KDB ICI, we have offices in Shah Alam section 16 and also in Johor Bahru. For KDB headquarters, we are in section 14 Shah Alam at Menara Berayat. So you guys, if you are complete your studies, you want to do internship, you can write your resume you can forward to me, or to my officer Hidayah also. Hidayah also UITM student. Yeah, and then we will we will give an opportunity for you to get experience in KDB Waste Management. Even if you want to have placement in our associate company, the Selangor GLC, I can also assist you. No problem. It's not a problem for us. Yeah. So long that you prepare yourself to learn what is the industry's environment, so I welcome you, right? But my piece of advice to all of you, doctor, I think the lecturer will also take note of the students. Yeah? To me, the most important, this is a tip, most important for you when you do internships, it's not about your qualifications. I don't look for straight A, but I look for a right attitude, a good behavior, a commitment to learn in the industry. That is the best criteria. But if you are a flying colors student, it's a bonus to us. Okay? So meaning to say, I'm giving equal opportunity to all of you, regardless of your CGPA. Please come to KDEB Waste Management. Okay? Is that okay for you?
Yes.
Yeah? Alright, thank you.
And that ends our Q&A session. Now, before we pass the mic back to our MC, we were wondering if Mrs. Mafuza and Mrs. Hana have any other final insights that you would like to share to us students as we try to embark a more sustainable future? If you have any other recommendations or anything else you want to share with the students.
I think I have shared like earlier. To embark in sustainable future is that every day, every step, try to think whether this step will bring you into a positive impact or negative impact. Whether you travel, whether your daily life, when you travel, choose the travel you place is always begin as a pristine place. So try to support those that is more localized, more near to the positive impact to the people and planets. I think I already spoke enough this past 2 hours. So I hope I have give some knowledge and insightful because one of the things in sustainability is knowledge transfer. Make sure you share whatever you know, the good things, and I hope it will continue to the next generation. Thank you.
I think my last advice for all of you in this hall, uh, first thing first, in terms of waste management, I really urge all of you to be the agent of change in waste management by practicing waste separations and recycles. Yeah, that's number one. Number two, in terms of knowledge and your studies here, I hope that you prepare yourself with to be a versatile students, yeah. And at the end of the day, you are marketables for the industry, okay. And again, like I said just now, we are KDB not looking for the high flyers, okay, because waste industry is the only industry which is recession proof. We are not affected by any kind of economy because waste is a daily operations, yeah. So and this is not a rocket science. So we welcome all of you if you are interested, to pursue your career in waste management industry. KDB is the place for you. All right. So but you must be ready to accept the pressure because we are in the 3D industry. So you have to be prepared yourself to come to this kind of industry. Regardless, you are working in the administrations or in the office kind of environment or in the field work. But these are the things that student has to prepare. I think even if you are going to oil and gas industry as well, you also have to prepare your mentals, your knowledge, your physicals, and you have to be mentally tough. You have to be spiritually strong to accept this kind of challenges in the industry. Okay, thank you.
To both of our speakers and also to the audience. To end today's talk, we would like to pass the mic back to our dear MC, Azlin.
All right, thank you, Miss Moderators, and also thank you, Mrs. Hana and Mrs. Mafuza, for taking time from your busy schedule to be the guest speaker at our program. Your presence and wise word help magnify our knowledge in the best possible way. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Arif Azli to give a token of appreciation to our speakers, Mrs. Hana and Mrs. Mafuza. Thank you once again, Dr. Arif, and our speakers, Mrs. Hana and Mrs. Mahfuza. Before we end our program today, shall we have a group photo of all present today